After everyone cleared the throne room, um, she then came down off her throne and standing on the sublevel of the steps facing William, decided to get right to the point. William, I have to ask you some questions. As you know, you are one of a kind. I mean, there is nobody in my kingdom, let alone the men of my world, that act as you do. And I already know you cannot get back to your world. So, what are you going to do? I mean, there is no one else like you. Where will you live? Well, I was kind of hoping that I would have your permission to live here in your kingdom. I know I'm a human and I'm not of any known kingdom of your world. Would you permit me to remain here? She has a big smile. Yes, I will permit this. In fact, I was kind of hoping that you would choose to live here. Others in the other kingdoms might not understand the things that you do. They be strange and all, and may not be as nice as I am. Not that I am one that can be a pushover, but others may do much worse, only because of the strange customs and practices that you do, and they would see it as some form of sorcery. William, yes, my queen. Well, I love the fact that you call me your queen, but I'm still wondering if you wish to make a pledge of allegiance to me, and then I greatly desire this. I do. Really? This is good. Well, William, I know that there is also none of your kind here. How will you survive? I mean, won't you miss the people of your world, of the dark blue star that shines in the Valerian night sky? Daenerys, I have come to terms with this, and yes, I will miss them, because there is none like myself. And I know this is the place where I shall remain for the remainder of my life. But I see something in the future. I can't pinpoint it yet what it is. I'm not one with this foresight that you've told me about, like your palace visionary, but something good is about to happen. I'm sure of it. And I think that perhaps I will eventually find true love. Well, William, who would you marry? I mean, certainly there must be someone that you would have interest in that you would wish to mate with. William thinks very carefully about this. Well, then she can see you starting to turn a little bit, shades of color. And I do love the way your color is changing. There must be something you wish to tell me. Yes, I have an interest in someone, though I'm not sure what you meant by suitor. I'm not accustomed or familiar with this term, but there is somebody that I have interest in. Really? She seems almost disappointed at first. Is this someone that I know? Um, Actually, you do know her quite well. I do. Yes, but I'm not sure if I should reveal her name. Is there a reason why you cannot tell me who this person is? Well, she holds a very high position, and unless I had her permission, I think she would want me to exercise discretion. Because of her high position, I would not want to embarrass her or cause her humiliation. Would you not agree that discretion would probably be the best way to go about this? Yes, I would accept this, William. I will in time eventually reveal this, but I'm afraid that my feelings may betray me if I was to reveal who she is now. And she kind of has a grin swarming on her face. This one with a high position, is it of royalty? It is, actually. I see. I too have a secret, William, but I'm not ready to reveal this either. And as to the suitor, it is where I, though many men may choose who they wish to be mated with as queen, I choose. I have chosen you as a prime candidate because there's none like you, and therefore that is why I have named you my suitor. But if there's a secret you wish to tell, I shall wait, and I do believe in discretion as well. Well, that is good. Um, I will in time reveal this because I think I've fallen in love with this one that I have interest in. Her smile gets even bigger. This is good, and in time I hope you will reveal who this is. I might know who it is, but I will not reveal this either. I will let you decide when you should reveal this. Well, um, William's having a hard time speaking now. Deanerys, um, I'm sure you won't be disappointed when you know who it is. I'm sure I won't either, William. Well, you said you wished to make me something. Yes, it's something special. I can use the foods of your world to make something that is one of many popular dishes from my world. I just need access to like a kitchen or it is foods prepped. Well, as I said before, usually this is women's work, but I will allow this because I'd like to see what it is you intend to make me. I look forward to this, William. Miss Andy, yes, my queen, would you show William here to what he calls the kitchens so that he may begin working on that which he wishes to make me? Yes, my queen. William, if you will follow me, please. All right, then. And so William bows before Daenerys respectfully if she accepts this. I guess I will see you later. Yes, William, I will see you later. And she thinks about the test that she's about to put him through, which will be the first of three. So, with that, William then follows Missandei into what would be considered the palace kitchens. As William enters into the what would be considered palace kitchen, he notices that it is very huge. Servants are going to and fro doing their various duties, and is quite amazed. The area that would ordinarily look like a stove where food is cooked is like a big brick sub-level area with iron grates over the top, probably for cooking foods over flame, and a large opening at the front for possibly doing baking. This, William, is where food is prepped for dignitaries and those with high positions and our queen. Wow, this place is huge. She kind of laughs. Well, it's probably not big as something you would see in your world, I would imagine. No, we have a little more advancements, but that's okay. I can work with this. So, what is it you intend to make for our queen? I was thinking of making a food that is called pigs in a blanket. She kind of, what? They're called pigs in a blanket. Why would you name food after a farm animal that would have a blanket that's meant to be on one's bed? Oh, well, sorry, Miss Sonny, I don't mean to laugh at you. It's just that I don't know why they call it that one. It's just something they called it. But I guarantee you it doesn't involve taking a blanket off a bed and putting it on a farm animal. Well, I hope not. That would be very unusual, William. So, how do you make this? Well, involves flour, salt, probably some other ingredients, and I have to have something like sausages. You have anything like that? Yes, we do. So she has some other people of the staff in the kitchen bring them to me. And so William then gets things prepped and mixes the flour and everything that he needs to make the dough. And then I also need a roller so I can roll it flat. So this is brought to him as well. William, um, you like our queen. I mean, I sense that you do. Um, yes, I. It's okay, William. You can speak plainly. I think I've fallen for her. Although I'm pretty sure it's not something I should feel because her being a queen and all, I just don't know if I can win her heart. Well, William, I speak to you as a friend, though I am her handmaiden. If you want to win her heart, there is a way, but you have to do certain etiquettes to meet her expectations. I would be willing to do anything. Well, first off, I understand you have a heraldry that barely qualifies you to be her suitor, though she has chosen you, and it is her decision. I think that she's chosen well. Well, thank you, Miss Sandy. But you have to realize that though she had the throne for 3 days, it is her destiny to have the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms. And unlike usual traditions where the man sits on the throne and she follows in his stead, she won't allow this to happen, even for you. I understand. Well, in my heraldry, I'm not allowed to have the throne. You're not? No, in mine, we were known as dukes and duchesses, well, the men dukes, and it was to the point that, by custom of my heraldry, that the man should take the woman's last name, and therefore she, in if there was a time of battle, he would be killed, gains everything and loses nothing. I'm impressed, William. She might like to hear this. Um, so, if, I'm not saying it would be, but if it were possible, um, and she would permit it, I would take her last name if she were to adopt my heraldry, and I would be more than happy to sit at her right hand following in her stead. This is very good. You should tell Daenerys what you have just told me. But now I think you should know something about her, though it is usually not something that I would speak of while she is not present. But you being so naive, as a human, you should know things about her so that you don't make certain mistakes, because she's not one that tolerates treachery, trickery, lies, or deception. I understand. I shall tell you of when she was first married, and up to the time just before your arrival, and the most unexpectedness of how she had the throne for 3 days, and she definitely does not tolerate sorceresses. All right. So as he continues mixing, Missandei then starts to tell the story of her first husband, Drogo, which in the end will lead to where she was married to Jon Snow, but because of the overthrowing, she only held the throne for 3 days, though she was in King's Landing for about 3 to 6 months. In the meantime, Daenerys recalls the strange sound that had erupted prior to the performance that this human, William, who she has declared as a suitor for his speaking boldly to her, had occurred, and what the knights had brought in, that she had commanded them to be tucked behind a couch in another chamber of hers. She first meets up with some people in the meeting room, and after conversing about some things and confirming that the bag has been tucked away without William's knowing, she then goes into this other chamber. She sits on the other bed, or a couch that is, looking outward to make sure nobody's going to come in and notice. Then she leans over the couch and looks and sees something long behind the couch. She then gets up, goes to it, and studies it as if it was something really amazing, like a new treasure. She's not sure how to open it, but discovers that there's a tab and pulls on it and it barely starts unzipping. And she finally figures this out. As she opens it up, she cautiously takes some type of long stick or rod and pokes at it. Nothing seems to be dangerous, so then she puts the rod down, moves about, and sees his strange shoes and other clothing, and a long, slick, smooth, black, rectangular device. This must be what made the noise. She's not sure what to do with it, and decides not to do anything that would cause an alarm to echo out throughout the palace, as that would bring too much attention. So, with a deep breath, she kind of shakes her head because this is something new and fascinating to her. Perhaps William will show me how this works when the time comes that I reveal I have this for him. So she then starts putting the clothes back the kind of way they were, and she notices something strange. And she pulls it out, and it's this oddest piece of clothing. And she kind of figures where the two legs go, but then she's wondering what the third hole's for, because this is not something like the men of her world would wear. And she shakes her head and just not sure what to do. But what she doesn't realize, she's holding up a pair of his underwear. And this third hole is a mystery to her. So she tucks the underwear back, thinking that this is kind of like odd clothing for someone of his kind from his world to be wearing. And takes the tab and rezips it back closed. And then stands looking down at it, kind of with a smile, walks off, because this is like something new and fascinating that has got much of her curiosities about. She looks in at the other bed in this chamber. Everything seems to be in order, and then leaves with much to think about. As William is fixing a blanket, he finds everything fascinating in the kitchen. He sniffs everything. And there's this one particular wooden bowl that catches his attention, and he's not sure, is this pepper or what? So he takes it with him. Ah! Oh, William, just made a mess. Sorry, Miss Sandy. I didn't know what this black stuff was. So now Sandy has to clean the mess he made. That was quite the sneeze you had, William. Maybe it's best you don't sniff everything. I think that's a good idea. Daenerys goes back into the meeting room and meets up with the guards that had confirmed where they had placed the long bag belonging to William. I have checked the bag out and poked it up with a long rod. Nothing seemed to be dangerous. Yes, very strange clothing. one in particular, but I will find the right time to confront him about this because it's got me curious. But I do not see anything harmful here. Very well, my queen. So then, anything further? No, you are dismissed. Thank you for following my instructions. So with that, they leave. In the meantime, back in the palace kitchens, Masandi finally finishes the tale, catching him up to speed of her past life. And so now you know why she does not tolerate sorceresses. Well, I can assure you, I'm not one that practices sorcery. I mean, it it's just not something that I don't believe I would have any power to do. Well, that is good. And you seem to be, though you are naive for a human, you seem to be a very nice gentleman. As I said, you should explain to her what you have told me about your heraldry. This will give her assurance that if you two should go through, or she should definitely solidify your being a suitor declared by her, though you barely qualify because of you barely having at least half, or a little less than half, that of a royal duke, um, you may find that then your future is secured and you would be her husband king. Wow. I, I don't, I guess that would be something to get used to. Well, I'm sure it would. You probably have never had a position like that. But she, being the queen, would also be supreme queen once she gets the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdom. And she couldn't show favoritism even though you be her husband. You do understand this, don't you? Yes, I do. And I would accept whatever command she gives me. That is good, William. I know she's going to delight in this very much. In due time, though you may not think so, you will find out her secret. She chose you a long time ago because you are like a treasure. There's nobody like you amongst the men of her world, even if they would be good suitors. The do and say the things you do. This to her is quite the attraction. Though she will not come out and say it immediately, you may come to find out. You have nothing to worry about. I think you two will eventually be mated together for all time, for as long as you are here in our world. Well, that would be very pleasant. I don't know if it's proper for me to tell you this about her. You can speak plainly. I, um, I think I love her. Well, that's good. Everybody loves the queen. Um, that's not what I meant. I know what you meant, William. But until the time is right, I wouldn't say that too loudly. Other people in the palace are quite protective of her, and you being not of any known kingdom, let alone our world, voicing that too loudly, though she might find it pleasant, might be your own undoing. I understand, and I'm not one to not exercise discretion, as I had told her. Yes, that is good. In my best advice, let her pursue you. If you pursue her, it could draw the wrong attention and be it cause you much harm. Yes, I do not intend to pursue her because my main thing now is how to survive in your world, being there is no others like me. That is good then. Keep doing what you're doing, and you shall find that you will get your reward. Although I will have to agree with something she once told me. Will you be able to handle someone like her? You might come to find out that the experience may be more than what a human can handle. Well, while I slipped up and I said I could handle her, and that's not how it was supposed to come out. Sorry, I'll ask about this. Yes, that was a little bit of forwardness on your part, but I do understand you probably not intentionally meant to say that. No, what I meant to say was is I could handle anything that she would put me through. Well, This should be interesting, William. We shall see if you can handle this. There is no modesty in our world, and you seem very modest. But eventually, I think you will break this. It just might take you longer because, well, you are the legendary myth, this human, and we are very pleased to see one for the first time standing before us. Well, I feel honored myself, Masandi, to stand before such royal and dignified people like yourselves. Well, I'm flattered, William, but I'm not for royalty, but I do serve our queen as the handmaiden. Well, then it's an honor to stand before you as well. Well, thank you, William. So, these pigs on a blanket, this is how you make them. Yes, so he then goes into showing. First, have to do the triangles, which I've already got rolled out flat. And I cut these up into certain lengths. Then we just roll them up like this, and he starts rolling it, and then we put them on what we would call a baking sheet, flat tin that you bake things on. And since you just happen to have one here, and he lined them all up. And then once everything's done, then we stick them into the oven to bake for a certain time. Well, this is very interesting. I hope she finds this as amusing as I have. Well, I guess you could say a little humor with the food. Yes, perhaps you'll have an interesting time trying to explain to her what a pigs in a blanket is. There is something I need to mention to you also, William, before she discovers that we have had our discussion, and I'm sure, as you believe in discretion, that what we discussed, not that I'm trying to hide something from her, should not go beyond here. Do you understand? Because it might be your undoing for learning of the past. I understand. And I can keep secrets. Good. She may even trust you with some. At the time she was married to her husband, Drogo, one tried to poison her. Others tried to use devices with hidden poisonous insects or something. And, well, since you did make this, though it is the foods of our world, the guards will not allow her to eat until you demonstrate you have no intention of harming her. You mean like a food taster? Yeah, you could say that for your human understanding. So what you do is, when the time comes, you present what you have made, and with the humor, of course, of explaining what a pigs in a blanket is, you will then pick one up to demonstrate you have no harm to her, and you will eat it first. When she sees that no harm has come to you, then all should go well. Very well, I will do this. Good. And then I believe we should be about ready. So William, feeling like he's very, very nervous because it's about to be a first time presentation, gets ready to carry stuff out. And so as time goes by, Daenerys watches with a smile raised eyebrow of intrigue as to his bringing the food out to the uh, the banquet hall. And so Daenerys then gets ready to take her seat at the head table as other foods, other than the pigs in a blanket that has been brought out, is prepared and set on the tables for people to get whatever they like to eat for that evening. Then, as everybody is now entered into the banquet hall, those that would be guests, dignitaries, and high officials, the guards are, of course, standing back at the head table, as is custom for her protection, not that anybody would get this far. And Missandei then makes her announcement. My queen, yes, Missandei, William here has made you something special, as he has said. She looks over at William. Really? And so what is we got here? That is, he made, Masani points at the strange looking wrapped sausages. Um, this is what he calls a pig in a blanket. What? A pig in a blanket? She looks at William with kind of a questionable type look, as if she's never heard of such a thing. William will explain what this is. And then Harry's kind of looks also on the ground like she's looking for something. Um, Deanerys, I'm sorry for the strange way it's called. In my world, it's one of many popular dishes, so using the foods of your world, I decided to make you what we call pigs in a blanket. And so basically, it's triangles rolled flat out of dough and wrapped around the sausages and then baked. I hope you like it. And why is it called pigs in a blanket when it doesn't even look like a pig? Well, um, uh, I don't know why my world calls it this. It's just something that I've grown up with when I was about a kid myself. I see. I have learned of a custom that I know will be expected of me by your trusted guards. So I would like to demonstrate this, that I have no harm to you, though I be from another world and a human. May I proceed? Yes, William, you may. So William picks up one of the pigs in a blanket and bites into it in front of her. She kind of watches, and after he chews it for a while and swallows it, as you can see, I am still standing, and nothing has happened to me. So therefore, I have no intention of harming you. She has much delight in this. I trust you, William, and I want to try it with this pig in a blanket, as you call it. And you're my guest, and I wish you to come up here and sit by me. Uh, for real? Yes, for real, William. You are amazing and continue to surprise me, even still, with these strange things you do, even with our foods. But it does look intriguing. Well, thank you, Daenerys. So he does. He, feeling very nervous, walks to the head table and sits beside her. And so she tries it. This is very good, William. Oh, I am quite amazed. We've never had such things. So the dinner banquet goes well, and they talk about many things and amongst people. And William sits and, as his grandmother once said, you can learn a lot by listening. So he basically, other than talking on occasion with Daenerys, learns what other people are talking about. As the banquet dinner was now finishing up for the evening, Daenerys then finally looks at William in a somewhat stern but slight smile way. William, um, there is another chamber I wish you to meet me in before we uh, go to rest for the day. You will meet me there. Do you understand? Yes, sure, I can do this. Good. I will be waiting for you, William. Then she whispers something to Missandei, and then looks at William with a smile and leaves. William, you have an appointment with the Queen, as I'm sure she just now told you. Yes. Um, Missandei's not sure how to present this. She puts her hand slightly up over her mouth and then lowers her left hand again. You wanted to test our queen to prove that she's the mother of dragons. Yes. Well, she's ready to meet this test. You will find this other chamber, as I'm sure you must have come upon it on occasion. She has more than one chamber? Yes. Sometimes she likes a smaller chamber to be in solitude. Um, but you'll find it soon enough. All right. So she tells William how to get there, and he follows her instructions. And after leaving the banquet hall, goes to this other chamber where he finds Daenerys sitting down. Come in, William. You remember you had said that you wanted 3 tests for me to perform. Yes. William seems a bit nervous. You don't need to be nervous. But I did tell you that I wouldn't forget this, and when you least expect it, I will choose the time to do this test. For the first test, you had stated that if I was to prove myself to be the mother dragons, that I should merely take you by the hand, and with my jeweled dagger here, I should merely scratch the surface to see the color of your blood, that it burns bright red with, what did you say the element was? Copper, meaning my blood would be redder than yours. Yes. Are you willing to follow through with the test you want me to perform? Yes. Indeed. Very well then. Hold out your hand. So William does. He holds out his right hand. She gently, with her right hand, grabs him by the wrist and then picks up the jeweled dagger and puts the edge of it on his hand, but doesn't cut his hand right away. She looks at him with a slight smile, then looks down at his waist area. Then she puts the jeweled dagger down and, in a gentle way, not like in an aggressive way, flings his hand away from her. No, I'll choose the test. William's not sure where this is going now. I have decided, as I said before in the meeting room when you spoke so boldly to me, that as queen I may decide to do the test that I should choose. Okay, well, I will pass any test then that you wish to give me. Oh, I'm sure you will. You being so modest, you may find this a bit challenging because there's no, well, guarantee how you'll handle yourself. Are you ready for my test? Um, yes. Um, you seem a bit nervous, William. Are you sure? Yes, I'm ready. So she pours herself something to drink, and then she says, "All right then, I want you to take your clothes off." Uh, you okay with this, aren't you? um, yes, you would do anything I command of you, wouldn't you? Yes, I would do whatever you command me. Then, what are you waiting for? You mean now? Yes, now. William seems a bit nervous, so he pulls his pants down and takes his shirt off, and she studies him. Well, I see. Everything seems to be in the right place. May I? No, you may not. I want to study you. She looks him over from head to toe. I suppose if you think it's important, you may now say whatever it is you wish to say. Well, I know I'm low in stature, and though I may not seem to be mm, fully um, in full status, and she could see why I was very nervous, and she's delighting in his erotic torment she's putting through. I've never stood naked before a queen before. I hope you understand. I'm sorry if I seem a bit flush. Yes, you do seem to have many color changes in your face, which I do find pleasing and it's very stimulating. But continue. Well, Perhaps there might be a better status that might be more pleasing to you, though I may not seem like much right now because I'm a bit shorter or possibly smaller than the men of your world. Um, there's an old saying in my world: big things do come in small packages. Packages, yes, meaning a type of symbolism like you believe in your world. I see then. And so, what is this that you are trying to say? Well, if the mood was right, um, and for both of us to bare our souls and interest for each other, if you should have interest, perhaps my status may change to much of your delight. Are you suggesting that I drop my clothes, William? No, I would never ask a queen to do that because I know that would be my own doing, and I wouldn't want you to feel that I should be have my life taken for suggesting such a thing. She holds her hand up for him not to say another word. William, I have many curiosities about you, and I know you wouldn't see that such a thing. So I am going to, out of curiosity, see if your status changes. I have only heard rumors from Miss Zombie. Oh, right, when I was taking a bath, I didn't intend that to happen. It's okay, William. I wish to see the status change myself. So she stands up. What I'm about to do does not leave this chamber. Do you understand me? Yes, Daenerys. Because if it does, though you are a human and though you are a treasure, it would probably harm my reputation, and I would have to have your tongue, and possibly something else. Are we clear? Yes, Daenerys. Very well then. Stay where you are. So William does as he's told, feeling very embarrassed that he's standing naked before her. She unclasps a couple of clasps and suddenly her clothes drop to the ground. Does this excite you? Um, well, um, wow, you seem about really flush, William. I never thought I'd be standing before a queen who would bear herself like this before me. I guess I feel somewhat honored. I, you can speak freely. Why, I find you very beautiful, not because you dropped your clothes. She kind of laughs about this. Yes, I can see that you are definitely modest. And then she looks down at him and, well, I see. And this is it. Your status changes because a woman drops her clothes. Um, well, the mood has changed. And because I guess, not that I intended to, but I have um, found an attraction right now that I can't control. Sometimes I hate myself because it seems that my status has a mind of its own. Yes, I could see that. But I am not displeased. Everything seems in the right place, as I said, and I do love the color purple as well. And so it shows a scene then. His penis is very rock hard and very long, and she has the biggest smile. She loves what she sees about him. Well, William, you continue to amaze me, and this is quite the surprise that I've wanted to see since you have arrived here. While I feel so tempted, I wish to feel it. I don't think you're ready for this yet. And she looks back at him. Then she squats down and pulls her dress back up and reclasps the clasp. Oh, and you can get dressed now. So William does, and he's very nervous. He feels as if he did something wrong. You haven't done anything wrong, William. And she sits back down. You handled yourself well. And this test I had to put you through is to see how you handled yourself. I'm quite amazed you handled yourself quite well. Um, well, I hope then you understood what I meant when I said big things come in small packages. Yes, and I am very delighted and well stimulated. In fact, William, it has aroused me a bit about you. This test was something I had to choose because if you cannot handle yourself in front of me in this manner, in my chambers, how can you handle yourself on the battlefield? For in a battle, you would see and hear things where men of this world who are my enemies may do, say, and show things that are not very with proper mannerisms, and therefore could be your own undoing if you could not handle yourself in front of men. Not that you'd be standing naked before them, but they may try to do such barbaric things in front of you. I understand. So this test was something that I decided to choose, and I see you stood firm and did not move as I had asked you to stay where you are. Well, I'm glad that I passed your test, as am I, William. So with that, it now goes into a special intermission. Okay, this is a message for Emilia Clark, and I hope she's listening to this because this will be like my first time acting. I guess the big question is, would I do this? Yes. Emilia, do you remember when you were in an interview and you said that men should show themselves more often? You said to unleash the, well, I can't say it here because I'm sure you would agree that I could get in trouble on Facebook and what have you for saying such a thing, but I was so blown away when you said they should unleash the, you know. And so I decided to write it into my movie script. Well, like I said, you'll get to see more of that in the following sequel, Game of Thrones 2, Khaleesi's Dragon Spirit, and the fourth one, Game of Thrones 4, Two Dragons to Rule the World. But in the fourth one, you get to see this twice. This for me is my test to break out of modesty. And so, granted, I had to black these scenes out and I had to use other photos as a demonstration of what I would be doing. I assure you, I have nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, if I do get flush and my face changes colors, because again, as this human, this would be considered part of the scene because you're trying to break me out of my modesty as this human. And so, yes, you would get to see my full status. And since you do nude photos, I don't see why I should have anything to be ashamed of. In fact, I found quite the interesting lingerie to do my photo shoots in London when I work up to that point. Um, so, yes, I would do this nude scene, as you remember, at the beginning of the motion picture. The um, handmaiden known as Masandi had tested me, and yes, I had been fully erect with my palm two stones in the bathtub, and she reports this to Daenerys. And Daenerys says she wants to find this out for herself. So this is probably why she decided not to take my test to prove herself that she's Mother Dragons by barely scratching the surface of my hand with her jeweled dagger. That she decided that as queen, well, so continuing on here, I had to stop for a bit. Sorry. In any case, so Yes, I would probably give you something you'd want to see, and hopefully that also would spark an interest in me. Um, because I, as an aspiring actor, willing to do this. Um, Whereas you had male photographers that did your photo shoots and all this, I would have to have so that a female photographer, I guess, because this way it's from a woman's perspective about me turning the heads of women in London and throughout other magazines around the world. Because if you have it from a woman's point of view, what is it women would want to see? Um, just as the men photographers take your photos, even the nude ones that you've done, as men would see, because you have turned my head like many men. And yes, I will confess, I have kind of by accident fallen for you, but I hope you don't mind me saying so. And I'm just being honest, speaking from the heart. But in the meantime, I think that if there was any professional uh, London lady photographer out there, she could probably help me to get not only my name out there, but to build up to being, once I get my MA degree from the London Cinema College, to being the actor like you are the actress. And what better way than to give you what you said you wished for on an interview, to unleash my status, because I have nothing to be ashamed of. I did it once before and I did a Naked Man run. And should you ever be brave enough to contact me, and I'm hoping you will, because I really, really would love to talk to you. Um, there's much that I think you'll find that I'm not like the American men you've dated before. I mean, there's so much you don't know about me that I would love to share with you. Um, but yes, I would definitely do this. It would be probably my first time experience, as I'm sure it was for you. Quite the riveting experience, but I would get used to this. And again, I have nothing to be ashamed of. So um, I'm just hoping that this intermission brings you much to think about. And I just wanted to make this known to you, that this is something I am very determined to do. It's just for right now, I still have to work on trying to raise funds to get to London, but I just hope that this will give you reason to maybe mention something on YouTube about this, because I'm sure if you're like any normal woman hearing this and knowing what I'm willing to do and that I have nothing to be ashamed of, this must have stirred something in your mind. I consider you to be in like any normal woman. You would have certain things running across your mind right now. So I hope to see a YouTube video where this comes out and you have something to say about this. So, but it would be a great honor to meet you. Um, and if you permitted it, I could give you a hug, and I still would love to take you out to dinner and spoil you with a little shopping, and just to prove to you it's not like I'm after you for your money or anything. Perhaps, who knows, there might be a spark of interest in me, but I intend to go through with this, and I don't know how else to prove myself to you. Perhaps if you sent me a message of what your rules are, you might come to find a surprise that I'd be willing to obey these rules. After all, what man would not obey a command of Daenerys, right? Well, same as you, being Emilia Clarke, what rule would I not follow? I just need to know what the rules are. So anyway, I won't take up this time with my intermission, but I wanted to pass this on. And so this scene that I do, which would be my full nude scene that you had wished for, would of course have to be manually written in, which means that it'll be filled in by either the producer or whoever as to how I'm supposed to stand and what have you. So I hope that this has somehow stirred something in you and made you think and about certain things, because I'm sure you're a normal woman as any woman would be, and perhaps you might have a comment about this. So I do wish you the best and look forward to um, maybe seeing you soon if I can get the funds raised. And you are a very great actress. And once again, I consider you to be the most beautiful woman of the world. So I will leave it at that and look forward to see if you have any YouTube response on this. After William is now dressed, she then tells William, "You may now turn in for the night, William, but you will not be going to the chamber where I had you sleep before." Really? There's a reason. "Yes, you'll be sleeping here tonight." "Oh, well, I hope I didn't do anything wrong." "No, William, you didn't do anything wrong. I assure you of this. And I hope you don't think I humiliated you. That was not my intention." She grabs him gently by his left wrist and pulls him down towards her. "Remember, not a word. I promise I won't say anything, Daenerys." "Good. I've prepared a place for you by the bed here. This is my other chamber where I like to take solitude." And William almost feels like he's about to fall on her because the way she's got him pulling down on his left arm towards her. "William, in time, you will find out your destiny while you're here, but it's not my place to tell you when I say you may not be on the battlefield. So do not let this worry you, nor this test trouble you. You did nothing wrong. All right, I know you're nervous, William, but I feel an attraction to you too." And so, pulling him down a little bit further, Daenerys gently kisses him on the lips. "Now, you may turn in." "All right." So she lets him go and he stands up and goes into where this bed is at and lays down onto the pad. She thinks very much about everything she has seen just now, and many thoughts race across her mind with much delight and stimulations that she could not believe that a human would be so large in status of this pull in two stones. This brought her much pleasure and looks forward to the other things that are yet to come. Now, it is at night time, and William is starting to moan and groan, and to the point it finally wakes Daenerys, and she kind of props herself up, looking over the edge of the bed, and sees that he seems to be wrestling or in distress in his sleep. And finally, he suddenly sits up. "No! You alright, William? It's not because of the test I put you through, is it?" "Uh-uh. You've been dreaming, haven't you?" "Yeah. Yeah." She then gets up and pours some water in a cup. "Here, William, drink this slowly." William takes the cup and drinks slowly water from it. "Do you wish to tell me what you were dreaming about?" "I was dreaming I was back on Earth. This catastrophic event that hit my world, killed many people. I couldn't save them all, and then I felt this tugging sensation like I was being pulled to another vortex, never to see you again. It felt so real." "It's okay, William. You're here with me." Missandei, a guard, shows up at the doorway. "Is everything all right, my queen?" "Yes, William has been dreaming. Really?" It was not a good dream, though. See. I understand. Um, just let everyone know that it was a bad dream, but he is okay now. All right. Well, if you need anything, Daenerys, you know how to get a hold of me. Yes. Thank you, Miss Sandy, for checking in on me. So Sandy and a guard then leave. She then takes the cup from William's hand, and most surprisingly to William, gets down beside him in a very dark type, um, like nightgown, although you can't really see the coloring, which is why this picture of actually Emilia Clarke is used, because it's the best example to show that this nightgown is dark and with obviously no type of power source like would be in his world, since candles are usually what is used, yet her secondary chamber is dark, except for the glowing, flickering lights of the palace halls of other candles that are lit. Lowers herself down to William's area on his sleeping pad. She gently pushes William's chest so that he lays down beside her. You are safe now, William. I shall comfort you. You need not worry and have no fear. I will not let anything happen to you, and you're not going anywhere. She puts her arms around his neck and wraps her other arm around him and gently puts her left leg over his left leg, so it's as if she's partly sleeping on him. Shh. Just rest gently, William. I have you in my arms now. And William feels so comforted by her gentle touch as she gently brushes the sweat and hair from his face and gently gives him a hug and reaches her hand into his shirt. And William starts closing his eyes, feeling more at ease. What is this? As she closes her eyes as if she feels something. You have a sleeping dragon. A what? You have a sleeping dragon, William. I sense there's something about your heraldry that I've never sensed about any other man before, and you are a human from this other world. Much has the prophecy come true. I don't understand. It's okay, William. All shall be revealed to you in due time. So she takes her hand out of his shirt and, in a loving way, holds him close to her, and then they both soon fall asleep. As William slept in much peace now and enjoying the sensations that is going through his body from the gentle touch and Daenerys' gentle hugging and wrapping of her arms around him, he sleeps peacefully now, and she enjoys feeling his chest rise and fall with her arms wrapped around him. And she senses what he feels, and though she is not yet ready to reveal this, she senses that she too, though she may declare him to be her suitor, is something that she is falling in love with him, but is not yet certain how to present this to him because she doesn't want to scare him off. But there's something about him that she's now greatly attracted to, not because he had a very long and hard pull, which she kind of smiles in her sleep about this because it still greatly stimulates and arouses her with these thoughts going across her mind. But she doesn't take advantage of him and start feeling him up either, because she doesn't want to act inappropriate and scare him, so she knows that in due time they will eventually get to know each other better. Meantime, while she has good thoughts running in her head, William also has a new dream. This dream is unusual because it'll be like the one that the visionary had, and the one that she had when the visionary told her about his coming. In his dream, he sees a very large red dragon, coming up on a shore of some great body of water. And then there is a timid, smaller, low in stature, frail dragon that does not belong in her world, floating as it goes, somehow, sitting on its haunches, floats to the shore. As the big dragon looks down upon the smaller dragon, the big dragon has mercy and takes the little dragon under its wings and accepts him and gives him strength to continue. As this sensation between the two dragons grows, they seem to have a love for each other that is kind of somewhat forbidden, and yet, at the same time, destiny. The scene then changes where he sees two dragons holding roses, and they exchange the roses with each other, and thus demonstrates in symbolism that it is the love of two dragons, one of a smaller dark blue star in the blurry night sky, and the other of the stronger female dragon of the House of Targaryen. This is the movie scene that he sees in his head as well. At the end of this movie scene that he sees in his head with ever so sweet music, the dream then becomes clear, and he knows now in his subconscious that he has a love of dragons more than he ever has before, and that the destiny or these symbols that he's seen in his dream reveals that the larger, stronger female dragon transforms into Daenerys, Stormborn of the House of Targaryen, which makes him, in his subconscious and sleep, smile. The gray dragon, who is much shorter and frail, yet willing to give his life even unto death to defend the stronger female, which is a custom of dragons, transforms to himself. And much to his amazement, it shows now that his dream has revealed his destiny, and that he has to reveal this come morning to Daenerys, so that he can confirm that which he had said would be revealed to him has finally been revealed in a dream. And thus, now it finally ends, and come morning, he notices Daenerys, of course, had to probably go do other duties in the palace, and he thinks about the dream that he had, not the bad one, but the good one, and comes to find a sensation about him in his heart that he's never felt before, as if he's falling in love with the Daenerys, and perhaps this dream of forbidden love could be the same for him now. How can a human fall in love with a queen who is very powerful of her world? Is this normal? Will she actually feel the same? These are questions he does not know. But he finally says to himself, at the end of this part, I now know my destiny. Daenerys was right. It will reveal itself to me because she was not the one to tell me. I am the male dragon. Legends of old, from a dark blue star in the Valerian night sky, my homeworld of which I cannot go back to, Earth. I must tell Daenerys this. She probably will be pleased to know that it has been revealed. And so that the scene ends as he gets dressed for the next day.